Hey assholes, welcome to a new and improved podcast. That's right, all 6 of you are like, wow, cool, something new. Smart. Anyways, now that we're going to touch a bit on different topics, all within the geekdom, including magic, movies, whatever. Still taking in the comic books, video games, etc., etc. So this will be new. I'm trying something different. And that's how you evolve. You gotta try something different. Kill the old version of you so that the new you can emerge triumphant. So as always, I have my sponsors, but we'll get into that later. So first I want to talk about the Joker 2, Folie à deux. For those of you not sure how to say that. It's Folie à deux. Folie is crazy or something bad to be done by 2. If you want to translate it, a rough translation. I believe it's a French expression actually, but more from France, not from Quebec. So if you're like, hey man, why don't you know this shit? Because I'm Anglophone, and if you don't know what that means, it's because you don't live here. All right, so this movie, okay, let's put hands down. We all saw the Joker, the first one, because we wanted to know what the fudge the story was. And I'm pretty sure more than 50% of the people who saw it were like, oh, I could have probably done to have never seen that ever in my life. And it shows the second one flopping as it's flopping. As I watched the first one going, oh yeah, no, I don't want to see that shit again. And the second one comes out, oh, Lady Gaga is going to be Harley Quinn. I'm like, okay. I'm not interested. All right. Lady Gaga is overhyped, overrated, and it's not enough to sell me on a movie. I'm surprised it wasn't Rihanna or Beyonce or something. So yeah, it cost them a cool $200 million to do. And as of today, the 18th of October, this thing has grossed domestically $53,849,809. Internationally, $113,400,000. So a whopping worldwide of $167,249,809. Well, it's almost there. I mean, maybe DVD sales or whatever they make from Netflix when they'll put it on and the streaming, it might break even. Who knows? All I know is I'm not paying $20 and another $20 for concessions to see that shit-ass movie. I'm waiting for Venom 3 so I could be even more horribly disappointed with how they're going to ruin this story. God, how many of you saw Venom 2 and went, hey, this is the exact same thing as the first one, only they have that really embarrassing moment from the Fantastic Four where Reed is dancing with people using his powers. Or even worse, that from Iron Man, is it 3 or 2? When Tony's like peeing in the suit in front of someone. You know, like, or in front of people. Whatever. The point is that was off-putting and they put it in the Venom movie. And they just ruined the whole thing with Carnage, except for how it ended. That was perfect. And now they're bringing in Null. It's like, wow. If you're not familiar with the story of Null, we'll get into that another time. We're still talking about Joker 2. So, I don't know who the fuck needs to go see this movie. It sounds awful. The trailer didn't do it for me. I knew it was coming out. Like I said, if I'm going to go to the films to be entertained, it's not going to be this hot garbage. It's going to be something freaking worth it. Something I can go in D-Box and enjoy. It's going to be an action movie with some of my old favorites. Or if they're returning to cinema for the first time in a long time, like the Back to the Future trilogy, yeah, I'll see that. I don't know why no one's doing that. Hey, what movie do you want to see this weekend? I heard they're bringing back to the Future. No shit. Yeah, no shit. All right, let's go see that. You imagine that shit? Big screen, surround sound, D-Box. Jesus. During the skateboard scenes and all of them. Gee, oh man. Put me down for 7 of those. No, what do you got? You got Joker 2 and whatever else is playing in the cinema that's not Joker 2. Which goes to show you nobody fucking knows and nobody goddamn cares. So yay movies. Jesus. So let me know what movies you're interested in seeing that's coming out soon, if at all. What movies are you popping into the old DVD, Blu-ray player that, is far superior than any of the shit that's playing today? And also, how many shitty movies like Spider-Man 3 are you watching for the first time with these reverse beer goggles on, where like movies are so bad today that a movie that was bad 20 years ago is totally worth seeing now? Shit, I'm watching some really garbage slasher movies on Tubi and I'm having a great time, like Sleepaway Camp. The first one. Don't watch the other ones, it's not worth it. Except for the one who was killed in the outhouse. That was awesome. But apart from that, it's not worth it. So yeah, Joker 2. On a review about talking to Joker 2, we talk about other movies instead. That's how great Joker 2 is going to be. So yeah. Fudge them sickles. Now I want to talk about something that I found a little strange. And I couldn't believe was actually a thing. When I keep seeing these videos... Now look, I'm not new into Magic. I've been into Magic the Gathering for a long ass time. I just been on a lot of hiatuses because of... Or hiatuses? Anyways, I've been away from Magic a lot, numerous times, because it becomes repetitive and stale. You open a pack and you're like, yeah, get it. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. Fuck, man, how many times is this a card? I get it. Tap a land, or land comes in tapped, do 1 damage. Cool. 1/1 creature's got death touch. Great. So someone who's got like a 6/6 is gonna think twice about attacking. Got it. Like stuff like that. But there's been a recent huge list of banned cards. Not just like 4 cards. It's a huge list of cards. And people are butthurt about these specific cards. Or one specific card in general, I guess, is Mana Crypt. They seem to have thrown out these 0-cost cards that give you something. I'm like, okay. Who gives a shit? This is Commander, the format. If you're not familiar with the Commander format, you can only have 1 copy of a card with its name in your deck, unless the card itself says you can have as many as you want, and there are cards like that. But they're getting rid of Mana Crypt and the Mox, which is 0 cost. One is you flip a coin, your opponent calls it. If they call it right, you get 3 damage. If not, you get 2 colorless mana in your pool. Mox costs nothing. You tap for 1 mana. It really isn't game-breaking shit, let's just say. But there's a whole list. Oh, and Nadu Winged Wisdom. If you want to know what that story of that shit is. And people are probably, I think, more happy that it's on the list than it isn't. But it's a 3 converted mana cost thing for a 3/4 flying that has each creature has, if they're targeted by a spell, you may look at the top card of your library, and if it's a land, you put it in the field. If not, it goes in your hand. So if each creature is targeted that way, that's what happens for each creature, and you can trigger, and it can be triggered twice. So it means each creature could be triggered twice. So yeah, this seems a little shitty if someone's got one of them, what do you call it, board wipes. But then again, if it's target, then it doesn't matter. Board wipe's not going to do it, because it's not targeting. Anyways, let's just say that seems kind of shitty, but it's typical for a blue, a green thing to bring in a bunch of lands that are needless. Not needless, but it seems like green's got like the rampiest shit, and like their high strong card creatures don't cost that much to bring in to begin with. It's red that has uselessly expensive cards that do fuck and nothing. I'm a huge fan of red and white. And no matter how I cut it, I'm like, God, why? Oh, red, man. What is the deal? Anyways, the reason I bring this up, and the only reason I bring this up, is because there are some butthurt people out there, like serious younger brother energy, little sibling energy out there. Now, people could go and say, like, you know, small dick, but no, that's not small dick energy. That's little younger sibling energy. To go and write death threats to the people on the committee. First of all, if you're sending death threats for a children's card game, you have to really reevaluate your life. It's a fucking kids card game. Kids play this. 13-year-olds. It says on the thing, 13 plus. You got sets that are called things like Outlaws of Thunder Junction, or The Lost Caverns of Ixalan, or The Guilds of Ravnica. Like, this shit is not going to get you laid. This isn't going to make or break your day-to-day. Why are you sending death threats? And to who? To nerds just like you that have little brother energy anyways. This game is little brother energy in forms of cards. Most people who win, they win the dickiest way ever when they play Commander. It's usually the tokens. Like, 1,000 people out, and they all have lifelink. Suck on that. And you're like, shithead. Till one guy who's smart pulls out a ghostly prison, and then you're like, you want to attack with all those 100 and whatever dudes? On me, you need to pay 2 mana for each one. Curses. Exactly. Right? Anyways. So, say goal max, it is such a huge imposition on you, and you play with pals. You can just go up to the people and be like, hey man, I have Moxes and a Mana Crypt in my thing. And they'll be like, cool, yeah, you can play. We don't care because this is a children's card game and it's, you know, the official rules, but we're not officially fucking playing. We're just playing for fun. When the fuck have you ever sat down and someone's like, yo man, I got like a bunch of infinite combos in my deck, and you were like, cool man, yeah, you could totally play. Probably never. You'd be like, no, you find another deck, you cheapskate motherfucker, and get a life. You know? That's all you gotta say. So if dudes still got Mana Crypt, and you guys are all okay with it, cool, play the game. If dudes got Mana Crypt or Nadu or Fuck Your Face or whatever, the list of it was like maybe 100 cards that have been banned, and it bothers you, then it bothers you. If you're holding an event, that's the rules, tough noogies. If that's your livelihood, suck it up, buttercup. Like, really, there's nothing much more to tell you about the whole thing. I really don't get why it's such a big deal. It's a chillin's card game. Children play this. Little kid, my son plays this. He's 9. At a pre-release thing with strangers. Like, what is your fucking problem? Death threats. Now say it's really unfair, right? And it really is dick move from Wizards of the Coast for some kind of monetary reason because they ran out of ideas for how to make cards, so they're going to steal these ideas, but like make it cost something, right? Or change it so that they can make new money on new cards with an old idea. Okay, if you really are butthurt by this dumb shit, here's what you can do instead of sending death threats to losers that are just like you. Like, you heard the people, like that one girl from Hijinks, Commander Hijinks. Man, what a bratty bitch she is in general. What are you sending her a death threat for? Because she may or may not have been responsible for some of this shit. Man, if you're going to send her a threat of any kind, you can send her one for stop being such a dick. And you'd be onto something there. But no, you took away my chance to... And then you have to push your glasses up and they shine, right? The light shines so no one can see your eyeballs. You took away my cards? Fuck you, lady. No, fuck, man. Grow up. It's a cards game. You wanna stick it to Wizards and Hasbro? Don't buy the fucking cards no more. Go play Dragon Ball or Digimon. I think there was a Gundam one not that long ago. Or just buy collecting cards like Transformers that just came out from Dynamite. Or Vampirella that came out from Dynamite not that long ago. Not Vampirella. I always get her mixed up with her. Elvira. You know, that redheaded Jewish woman with the huge tits. She actually did some scantily clad sex magazine back in the 80s or something. Check that out. I don't remember what it's called. High Society, maybe? There's PDFs of it somewhere. You can see Elvira's tits. For realsies. Now, man, if you're sitting around honestly getting butthurt because a card was not allowed playing Commander. Commander's not even an official format, right? This was created by judges who were bored out of their minds waiting for sweaty fat bastards who smell like ass shoes to get on with their turns and shit. Okay? Wizards and Hasbro haven't come up with anything creative in a long ass time. Alright? Some of these mechanics that come out, what's the first thing some of these nerd losers say? Well, it's this thing, it's broken. I'm like, are you telling me the Delirium is a broken mechanic? How? You need to have shit in your graveyard in order for it to work. You take anything out of your graveyard, your shit no longer works. Where the fuck? And you need to have different shit. Can't have just like 4 creatures in your shit. When it's broken. Oh, these idiots. They don't know shit from shit. If you guys would put that much effort into any other aspect of your life, you wouldn't be dejected degenerates. You'd have something to look forward to, or like a vagina to put your face in, or something. Nah. Death threats to a girl who dates a man bun. Like, who gives a fuck, man? Like, honestly. Like, well, you have nothing better to do with your time. I wish you would die. I hope your vagina falls off and eats you alive. Yeah, grows teeth and eats your legs or some shit. You know, come on, guys. Get a fucking life. Go watch wrestling. Go watch AEW. That's where you belong. Go send death threats to Triple H or Goldberg or something. My God. Something to get you rageful, right? Anyways, for this next part, I'm going to talk about a few of the books I read for this month from the comic book part of the show. Here we have, you have to excuse getting over a cold. I had a serious cold on Monday. I had shit I was stressed out about for work, and that wasn't helping. And Monday being our Thanksgiving in Canada, and which actually in Quebec isn't really that celebrated. They take the day off, but they're not going to hang out and make a turkey in spite of English people. Yeah. I never understood that. A reason to have people over your house with a turkey, have a pumpkin pie, other desserts. I brought my super sexy Mexican dip that always disappears before I have a chance to even touch it. Yeah. No. Fucking, no excuse. No, I'm not doing it. Why? Fuck, I hate you English. Really, get over it. An excuse to have people over and party. Yeah, that's a horrible thing to do. Jesus Christ. I remember, I'm like, I asked a few people I used to work with, I'm like, why don't you celebrate it? Oh, so much work. Fuck you, man. You guys have the Sunday dinner, right? That's your thing. Sunday dinner, someone made a pasta the sauce has been simmering all day. You got like lamb bones from the butcher and put it in the soup, in your sauce to give it that extra flavor. And you're saying that it takes too long. Eat a dick. Anyways, that's my little rant against the French people who have the day off but don't do anything, which is stupid. Not all of them. Some of them, before some of the French people were like, hey man, I tell you what, you take your ass and put it to Ontario right now. No thanks. Alright, so Nightwing is being taken over, right? Some new guys writing Nightwing. It's no longer Tom Taylor. And we could all breathe a collective sigh of relief. Like someone finally took the weight off our shoulders if you're a fan of Nightwing and was wondering when this clown, Mr. Taylor, was going to be removed. I even wrote it on the Twitter page. Or I sent out a tweet saying, hey, DC, once Tom's gone, I'll be taking over my thing with Nightwing. Until then, I'm not supporting this clown. So the new guy is Dan Waters, and if you're like, well, what has he done? He's actually writing Destro right now. So if you're reading Destro, part of the Energon universe, and you're not reading Scarlet, then you have good taste. Now, is Destro any good? I gave it a 3 stars. Destro issue 3 was exposition of Destro's past. It was kind of nice, but I felt like if I bought this issue first, I would never pick up another one. A very slow burn. But, 3 of 5 stars isn't bad. If you've been reading, you'd see that, was it Tomax and Zammot, the twins? They're at war with Destro, and Destro's trying to figure out a way to outdo him, but they're both being played by some third party, and we'll figure it out eventually. Surprisingly very good. Vampirilla Dark Reflections. If you're reading the regular Vampirilla that's written by Christopher Priest, and you want to gouge out your eyes, for it is hot garbage, and Chris Priest is not very good. His shindigs that he wrote for U.S. Agent a few years back was awful. His year 1 was hard to follow, and then the rage after was just, what? For Vampirilla. But this one by Snagowski is actually very good. So if you're going to get any Vampirilla, this is the one to get. So this is very different, but very familiar. Which is like a really dumb way to say anything, right? This is something, but it's the opposite. Like The One or Time Cop. Those respective movies, and I think Time Cop's actually a comic book too. So it starts in a universe where there's no Vampirilla. Some lead singer of Creed Cult Man has a glowing D20, and he's trying to hatch it. And it turns out that the Vampirilla is a time cop. And this is the Vampirilla here is a time cop. And this is her exam. And she's black and white. Or monochromatic, I guess. Then it turns out she's not Vampirilla, she's Lilith, her daughter. And she just graduated her first assignment as in this Time Cop Corps. She gets sent into a universe with, there is a Vampirilla, but they're having issues with the communication, so Lilith has to figure it out. The ship she uses is also alive and is made after her dead brother, Adam. And that becomes more relevant later. So she lands, and there's these bug people that she's struggling to fight against. She cannot beat these bug people. And then Vampirilla shows up, and I'm like, oh crap, this is going to be great. And nope. She's all like, all hail Plankton. So, yeah. Why is there more stuff about that than Destro? Because more shit happened in that than in Destro. More shit that's relevant to talk about. Scrolling down. Alright, issue 2 is the exposition issue for Dark Reflections. Catches readers up on what happened in this world. Lilith is very weak, or not skilled, or both. And it's starting to get it's starting to get annoying. I wish she could start fuck people's faces. So we see Vamp is starting an uprising, but she's doing it all nonchalantly, right? So we knew this was going to be the thing. And the reason that she's able to get away with it is because this queen of whatever cannot read her mind, nor can she read Lilith's mind. So that's essentially what happens in the second issue. Still very good. In issue 3, yeah, I got 4 issues back to back because I had 2 and 3, and then I got 4 and 1 together. I didn't have 1, so I couldn't read them all, so I had to read them all now. Does that happen often at local comic book shops? Yes, it does. If you're with a very good comic book shop, they'll get you the issue that you're missing. If you have a shitty one, they'll ignore you completely and never think about it a second after you've asked a question. Imaginaire is a shitty comic book shop. Maynard's is a shitty comic book shop. Captain Quebec is about as good as you're going to get it in the Montreal area. Nothing else to add to that. Their Facebook page every week has sort of like a previews of what came in this week, and the banter between some girl and Alex, who's a real fun guy. Every time I see him and Dante, it's always fun. And they take care of my kid very well. When he walks in, they're always like, hey, you should try this, or hey, how about some free Pokemon cards, or oh, how about this, so yeah, it's super awesome. But yeah. So, Vampirilla Dark Reflections issue 3. Vampy gets a task with interrogating Lilith. She's able to read Lilith's blood, because, that's something she could do. And she sees that it's her daughter from another universe. And she really was in black and white in the first issue. Like, it took until a little bit after her graduation that she started absorbing color, because the world she was in did not have any color. It was so cool. Very good idea. Like, it's like a little detail you're not going to see today in today's writing. You'll see a restaurant with someone's name, but that's about as far as creativity goes today. Oh, place we like to eat. Nom nom foods. Yeah, that's all fucking comic books are today. We're eating at a bakery, and then it's sushi. It's got to be sushi, because it has to seem like, oh, I'm really worldly. I eat bizarre foods that normies consider bizarre, but everybody eats sushi. My 9-year-old eats sushi, so fuck off. Alright, so yeah, she saw that she is from another universe. Vampy tells the Resistance that Lilith could be the key. At the same time, the Queen's army captures Adam, the flying ship. Lilith's living ship, yes, and seems to think she'll be able to take over the universe. The Queen wants to use the ship to start universe hopping. Adam's like, not on my watch, and she's like, I don't think you have much of a say in the matter. Issue 4, now shit is hitting the fan. We got a story of what happened to Pendragon. If you were familiar with Vampirilla from back in the day, she had a group of people. It was much like Angel. Before Angel. It was a group of people trying to solve occult mysteries. I wish it would get back to that, but it didn't. 666 run with Chris Priest was good. There was a Groundhog Day shtick, and I don't know what it is now. It's the last issue that came out. It was like a in-between issue, like nothing important happened. Anyways, Pendragon and how he's still alive. He's just ahead, though. And Lilith, after being rescued, is teaming up with the Resistance and goes to save Vampy. Vampy has realized that she needs to wake up and put on her big boy pants and take her boner and start sticking it in the face of the Queen. As soon as she hears her son, the ship, scream in pain, then the final battle starts. The last image of the book was sickdiculous. I think I will look out for more books by this Snigoski. For sure. I mean, why not? If it's good, it's good. Now, I don't need to tell you that the Energon stories from Transformers is very good. They're page turners. I'm not a fan of the art. Daniel Warren Johnson is on the ball with this shit. If you're not reading Transformers at the very least, then you are missing the only story worth reading right now. That Gun Honey is finished. Heatseeker, the side story of Gun Honey, is having a second run soon. If you're reading Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern, you know that yes, it's very good, but it's very slow compared to what he was doing before. And he's obviously very hindered with this crossover event with Amanda Waller. So it's not getting anywhere quick enough, but it's a lot more focused than his Flash run. So yeah, it's a slow burn, but it's a little too slow for my take. It's not on the chopping block, but I can see in a few issues it could potentially be. Green Arrow is, as it is it's doing too repetitive story. He's not telling anybody. He's taking it on himself. All this stuff. It's the same story that happened before, but now even more annoying. Instead of time and space hopping. He's just being a dick. It's not doing anything of any importance. No one's getting any better or stronger. Nothing at all important is happening. It is horseshit, and it's definitely on the chopping block. World War V is actually fucking great. Anybody who shits on Matthew Rosenberg, yeah, I get it. Sometimes his stuff either hits or misses. But his Wildcats that he's done before was phenomenal. His when he was in Batman Urban Legends doing the Grifter story, that was freaking great. Oh my god, dude, so funny. So good. A little confusing at the end. I had to read that one twice, but I'm a slow reader, so I might have just understood it. But no, it's very fucking worth reading. But I mean, getting Batman Urban Legends is not. I think they don't even make it anymore. Well, no shit. Like, they needed another book like that. So yeah, I got mostly DC in my thing. No Marvel. I should be getting something from Marvel this month. It's the month I have a Black Symbiote Spider-Man, the Omnibus. So that'll be good. I picked up Mark Millar's Prodigy, which is pretty good. Nemesis Rogues Gallery, also very, very good. Nemesis Rogue Gallery is like reverse Batman. Imagine if Batman was a bad guy and everybody's trying to kill him. And that's what happened. And someone must have like almost killed him. And he gets bandaged up and he's in a hospital where he's still deadly with the ability to chew. Dude's chewing on chicken bones. And he makes like a sinew bone dart. And he spits it at somebody's eye. And then eats their neck. And then starts eating their face. But like not eating, just ripping their skin off with his teeth. And some hot crack job team breaks in the hospital, takes him, and brings him to their Lazarus pit, where he heals and has to pay somebody an ultimate price on top of millions of dollars. And at the end, he has to talk to Girl Alfred to get him Psycho Robin. Psycho Robin's in jail in the next issue. He gets a key for handcuffs in his muffin he ate that he has to throw up. Sitting in court, after the judge reads his charges, he says, "I am super guilty, hell yeah!" And he grabs a gun under his seat and starts blasting. He has to get out of there so not Batman can pick him up. He throws a guard through a stairwell, lands on the guard, falling 2 stories for a soft landing, and gets out, and not Batman helps him and trains him to do exactly what Batman would train Robin to do, but for the not right reasons. And that's how it ends, while somebody that was stabbed in the eye was given super cool technology stuff, now kills the people that helped him. I think that's how the second book ended. It looked weird. Prodigy was black geniuses get abused and used. A father was absent, and some other German Dr. Robotnik is hell-bent on making them pay for whatever reason, and frames them for shit they didn't do. So they're on the run from the cops, trying to stop this psycho from further disrupting their life. It's not bad, but it's like everything that happens too cleanly in the story that it's like, okay, well, I know this is just going to be 5 issues because every problem has an easy solution, right? Like, oh, magically this happened, or oh, it went that smooth. But it is good. It's just that it's made to be short. So I mean, don't skip it. Mark Millar barely does anything these days, and he's doing a lot now. Grab it while it's there, because you never know when you're going to be stuck with just Joshua Williamson, and that's all you have. I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson, I don't think was planning to make the Transformers story as long as it is. And then you got Larry Hama, who's still doing G.I. Joe. That's something you could gravitate to. Joshua Williamson is taking a G.I. Joe's to the Energon universe. Destro's the Energon universe. Scarlet is Teenie Howard. If you bought this, you're an idiot. I think that was Void. Something Void or Void something. That's also part of the Energon universe. Hot Rod's in there, or he was in there for a split second. A friend of mine's reading it, and he says it's very interesting. But yeah, no. If you're not reading the Energon universe or checking out Titans Conan or Jeremy Adams, anything, or anything from Mark Millar or manga, period, then I don't know what you're doing. But you shouldn't miss out on comic books. Or it doesn't matter if it's manga or North American comic books or BD from Europe or whatever. You should really choose some story. Like get a previews magazine or go to previewsworld.com, link in the description, and check out. Choose something that tickles your fancy. If you want something with a little nudity, it'll be written there, MR. If you're looking for something that's going to be gory and bloody, it'll be there. It'll be obvious. If you're looking for superhero shit, like check it out for Marvel. You never know when they come up with a collection or an omnibus or something of older shit that's way better than the newer shit. Should I get the newer shit? No. She-Hulk is now slice of life nonsense written by someone who doesn't know shit about shit, as you can see from the previous videos. I noped out of that real easy. The only way I'd get back into that shit is if like this channel like boomed and everyone's like, no more She-Hulk. We need to see more. Fuck. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so get something. Get manga. I'm reading The Devil's a Part-Timer. That's great. I mean, it's not new. My Hero Academia. Don't listen to the haters. Fuck them. Read whatever tickles your fancy. If you want to read some kind of like not hentai, do it, dude. Whatever. Grab something and enjoy. Like it's a medium. It's something to enjoy. Why would you say no? Like when I talk to people who play Magic and they're like, I don't have any comic books. Why? You talk to people who get comic books. I don't play Magic. Why? Why would you limit yourself to just one thing in the nerddom? There's so much shit out there that you can entertain. And it broadens your horizons in ways you can't imagine. Like, I go to pre-release events. This is fun. This is, you entertain and get to play Magic against people who you'd never play against otherwise. In a way that they can't control. No shithead's gonna come in and bring in the weird infinite combo to do damage to you by how much power your creature has by like using a lot of cheap shit in one turn. Like by turn 3 you're dead. Can't do that shit in the sealed event. There's no fuckery like that. But again, I can understand why people are not playing Magic or anything like that, because there are dicks out there who ruin it for you. And they think they're like super amazing. Oh, man, I'm the best shit ever. Fuck you. Get a life. Little brother energy. Alright. I want to talk about a game I've been playing. The problem is I can't touch the screen. Because I know that as soon as I do, my recording will stop. So I'll find the Steam account thing on my phone and stall with things about what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'll just edit this shit later. What if Fudge Sickles is my library? Okay. Yeah, okay. There's a game that I've been playing a lot of, besides Magic the Arena. If you are serious about maybe getting back into Magic or getting into it for the first time or whatever, and you don't really want to spend the money because you have no idea where to spend the money, get Magic Arena on Steam or on your phone or whatever and play that. This will give you a tutorial on how it works. You'll get a crash course of how to play, and you play against other people online who can't scream at you, and you can play in different kind of formats, so you don't have to worry about what I just said about some shit dick putting together some infinite combo that kills you turn 3 because he mulliganed 4 times to get a better chance of getting the cards he needs. You don't have to worry about that kind of nonsense. So yeah, Magic Arena, do that, get better, learn how to play, and then you go take that shit to build a commander deck, and then take it to the pre-release events, or draft, or whatever. We'll talk more about that as time passes. But I've been playing a game on Steam called TCG Card Shop Simulator. Hey man, I'm going to do a whole review on it, but if you guys haven't played this game is fucking addictive. It wasn't expensive. I'll check now to see how much it was. Game info. Oh. Official website. Store page. Okay. So it came out in September. It is $17 Canadian, so what, 4.5 cents American? Alright, so this game, you're in charge of a store. You order products, fill the shelf. You have a fake Pokemon card game that's in existence. And as people come and buy shit, your level for your store levels up. So you put shit on the shelf. Cards, sleeves, specialty sleeves. There's board games or tabletop games. That was just recently added. And they're constantly updating. And every time you log back in or you pause the game or you log out, there's a checklist of things that they want to accomplish. And eventually, one of the last ones is that the card game is actually playable by you, a player. So you have constant customers coming in. They pay either exact change, cash, and you have to give them change, or they pay with a debit card. People come in smelly, where you have to grab a spray and spray them till they don't stink, or you buy the stinkless machines that people pass by and they get sprayed. You have to crack packs. You can crack packs, whether it's a bundle box or you just take them off the shelf. You crack them, you open them, you put them on the display for sale, and people can buy individual cards. You put the price. You can increase the price, decrease the price. If you have tables, people can come and play for events. As more people play, you get more tables. People pay to be playing. So you're making money constantly. As you crack packs that are worth something, you take experience. You sell stuff, you take experience. People play, you get experience. And as you get more experience and level up, you are then offered more things. You can renovate your store to make it bigger. You can buy more different variety of things. The more cooler pack or the more expensive pack. Figurines, stuffed toys, play mats, other sleeves, and it goes on and on. Shelves, different kind of shelves, tables, the smelly thing, the display cabinet to just put your cards for display. No one can buy them. You can hire employees, but the stinky thing is the best thing. That's the funniest thing, because we've all been there. Whether it was a comic book shop, or a card shop, or Cégep, or college, I guess. There's someone that is a stanky. So, yeah, I'd suggest you guys get this game. I'm loving it. It's probably one, and save any time. That's the perfect, because I have kids and a wife who likes to ask questions at the most inopportune time. So I don't play games online, because the last thing I need is, do you know where I put? No, I wouldn't know where you put anything. You are the one that put the thing. So I don't know. Maybe you should stop asking me questions that only you know the goddamn answer to. But I digress. My nephew who works at a card shop, I sent him a clip about it, or I sent him a link to it. He's like, I already bought it. And my son went to their place last night, and he's like, yeah, the store's huge. He has shelves to hold the boxes, and the shelves are stocked. I'm like, my God. I mean, that's crazy. He cracked a card, I think it was worth $3,000. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I haven't cracked a card worth $3,000. I think the most I got was $800. And no, it's a great game. Get into it. Go play it. And then you can send yourself death threats when things don't work out for you, or when things get banned. What? I banned these things? I should just fall off. I should just fall down the up escalator forever. Idiot. And that's it for now. Hey, so I don't know about you guys, but have you been checking out the latest releases on Flixnex or Crunchyroll? Yeah. Ranma Half has been remade. Not dubbed, of course. God forbid that would be a thing. Although if Netflix handles a dub, you know what happens. If you watch Gundam Seed, you know what I'm talking about. Especially episode 7 to 9? You got people talking and other people reacting. But there's no friggin' voice. It's crazy. They must have thought, well, people are watching Gundam Seed in the original language. Let's just... Anyways. So, when I first heard months ago that Ranma Half, one of the best animes ever, definitely up there, a little too long for my liking. It really, and if you know anything about the author, Rumiko Takahashi, you know that she also did Inuyasha. So if ever you were watching Inuyasha and went, my God, this thing's just like Ranma Half. Well, there's a reason. She really likes this couples that hate each other, but it takes 7 fucking seasons before anything may happen. My God. You know, I thought they were going to do that with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where it took forever before before Jake and Amy hooked up, but at least that was easier to deal with. 7 seasons of Ranma. Anyways, so when I heard a few months ago that it was coming back, I was like, man, in this climate, it's going to be Ranma, and he has to decide, about his pronouns and all that shit. Thank God that's not the case. Everyone could breathe a collective sigh of relief. They did not do that. It is on Netflix, but it's not Netflix who produced anything. You're just publishing it. They're just like, yeah, here, we'll put the thing. However, it is slightly different than its original counterpart. The first thing you'll notice is that the animation is crisper. It's still hand-drawn, hardly any CG bullshit. So it's nice and it's crisp. The action sequences are a lot better. The humor is still there. The quirkiness, the fact that it takes place wherever it took place in, it's still there. And almost shot for shot, it was the same. The first episode was exactly the same as the one before. So maybe this will follow the manga more closely. I'm not sure. I've never read the manga, so I'm not exactly sure how different the manga is versus the show. For the longest time, until the late 90s in Quebec, if you wanted English manga, you'd have to get it from elsewhere, and we didn't have really Amazon and stuff like that to get books from somewhere else. So manga was only in French, and it sucked, because, stupid... Anyways, so I had a bunch of Dragon Ball manga in French, because I wanted to know what happened next. And the internet was in its infancy, so I really couldn't just look it up. I mean, yeah, there were information, but how accurate was it? It was easier just to buy the manga. But yes, there's no trans allegory. However, there is censorship. Nipples are gonzo. Now, a lot of people will be like, wow, it's not the end of the world. No, absolutely not. It is not the end of the world. However, it does feel like a piece of the art is not being displayed. I know it sounds like I'm trying to make an excuse to see tits, but I mean, that's like going to an art show and having part of it unviewable because, this might offend somebody. Like some of the stuff that doesn't make it here to North America, especially if you played any game on the Wii U or the 3DS around that time. Oh, here's Fire Emblem. People were bitching about all their boxes that were destroyed or slightly damaged in the shipping. I'm like, are you going to play the game? Who gives a shit about the box it came in? And they're like, nobody seemed to care that a lot of the stuff that was in the game in Japan is not here. There's some sort of hand rubbing or something that was supposed to go on between your character and the female characters. There's a lot of other weird censorships in the Wii U in terms of the age of the women, a booby slider in the Xenoblade Chronicles. So yeah, it sucks because it's something that was there and it should be up to us to decide whether or not it's appropriate. Leave it the way it is and let everyone else figure that shit out. That's my thing on it. It's like I can't explain it anymore. It's like part of the movie you don't get to see because, it's offensive. Like, no, let me see it there. It's part of the movie. So anyways, Ranma half for the manga, it's 38 volumes running from 87 to 96. Rumiko Takahashi also did Urusei Yatsura, which has also been adapted recently, and again having the same censorship problems as Ranma half is having. The author was born in 1957, so that you know that this is going to be good. This is not this like weird late shit that's just slightly pervy and everybody's got flat character arcs. Like they're all some flat. If you want a great example of what I mean, it's hard to put in words, I guess, because like, it seems like most characters in most modern anime, they're paint by the numbers of their characteristics, right? There's the dude who's super horny, but no girls are interested. The main character seems to have either no luck with women or all the luck in the world with women, but is not interested. Somebody's like super pervy and they let it go. Like if you play Mugen Souls on the PS3 or Steam, or you played Persona Q, where you interacted with guys from Persona 3 and Persona 4, you notice that a lot of them are copy-paste characters of who they in each game, right? It's like, it was an eye-opener for me to see this, and I'm like, this is just the same guy. This dude's the same as that guy. There's no differences. It's slight, not even personality differences. There's slight, like, quirky things that they can do. Like, oh, this guy can cook really well, but he likes to hit people with a chair. You know, or maybe I'm getting two other guys confused, but essentially that's what it is. And it sort of takes things out. Whereas the older anime, they had character. It wasn't paid by the numbers. Right? Goku isn't the same as Takumi Fujiwara. Not the same character at all. Although they are the people that we are imprinted on as we are, or we're imprinting ourselves on as we are taken through the journey. Anyways, so in Ranma half, for those of you who don't know, there's a father-son duo who are traveling around everywhere to increase their martial arts prowess. Their anything goes dojo. They found themselves in some wicked crazy mountain that actually really exists in China. And it's a bunch of little lakes that were apparently cursed. As they were training on the grounds, the father was knocked in, Genma Saotomi, falls into the one of them, comes back up as a panda, and then continues to fight, and Rama falls in and comes back up as a girl. And then we find out later that hot water will return them to their natural state, but cold water will turn them back into their transformed state. Now, Genma, the father of Ranma, has promised his son's hand in marriage to this family called the Tendos. And Saon Tendo, the father, has 3 daughters, and he really wants the legacy of his dojo to keep going, even despite the fact that Akane, the youngest, is a very accomplished martial artist and as tough as nails in her own right. Nowhere near as tough as Ranma, but that's funny. The one thing about this show, when I was watching the old one back in the day, is that you can never really see that, like, how much stronger he is, or even he is in the girl form, right? And it's like you're never really sure if this is, because it's a mix between the comedy and serious martial arts. So you're never really sure how tough they are. Like, he got beat, yeah, but was it serious? Like, what was the story with that? Like, it could have been just for a funny scene and he got smacked in the head and that was all it took. But, like, just 2 seconds ago, he was kicking the shit out of everybody in the room. That's the one thing I had a hard time with during my initial run through Ranma. I never finished it. I moved in with my girlfriend, who I'm still with, and I had forgotten all about going back to Go Anime and watch it, which is really the only way to watch anime. So, yeah, the story is so far is exactly the same. He goes to school with her in the morning, and she beats up all these men. She hates men. They see each other in the bath, The hilarity ensues. She gets out and screams, and she calls him a pervert, but he smacks back with like the best line ever in probably manga history. He's like, I'm not shocked to see women naked anymore now that, he has the junk, and I'm better equipped than you are. And I'm like, oh shit. Fucking drop the mic on that one. Oh, that was great. Forget anything he could have ever physically done to her. That line was searing enough. And like, it's never really brought up again. She doesn't think about it, but she really should have. If this was real life and you told a woman that which for whatever reason you were able to transform into a woman, you say, I've seen naked women and I'm actually way better looking than you are. So, good job on that one. Who gives a shit about your naked body? Anyways, there's a lot of ways this story could have gone. It's not exactly the way it goes in the original series. I have no idea how close the TV is to the manga, but I suggest you guys give it a shot. Netflix didn't douchebag it up. There's no dub, so you purists can rejoice in having to sit there thinking that's how actually people in Japan speak when they talk to each other in social settings and stuff. I'm pretty curious how they're going to do that real pervy grandpa that comes in later. I actually couldn't stand this character, and I couldn't wait for them to kill him. But now he's there, and he's there for a long-ass time. So give it a shot. Right as it stands now, I'm 3 episodes in. 3 episodes is great. But again, there's a part where Ranma is just trying to dry her clothes. And like full frontal, and there's like no nips. And I'm like, why? Why is it got to do that? Like that, when I finished Lunar 2, it had the same kind of thing. There was this... Like, the girl was in that blue thing, nips gone. I'm like, why would they do that? She's naked. We see that she's naked. Come on. Give the person who beat the game, like, a bone here. Fuck. Anyways, stick with it. Gundam Seed has also been brought and redubbed. And like I said, there are a lot of dubs missing between episodes 7 and 9. The 3 episodes that follow have been okay, but I don't know how that shit got past. It's so weird to see people talking. I'll see if look, there's a filter that makes it impossible to take a screenshot or screenshots of Netflix stuff without paying for something. So I'm going to see if I can use my phone to film it on the screen. And yeah, I could. It's just going to be like not the best quality, but I'll see what I can do just to put that out there. But no. This is something else, man. This dubbing thing, I'm not sure why they thought it was alright. Anyways, guys, that's it for the podcast. Tune in next month when I try to do this shit all over again with a whole slew of different things to talk about. Maybe I'll play a new video game for a change. Ugh, I really don't want to, though. And now, a word from our sponsors. Hey, have you ever woke up Christmas morning, had your kids unwrap the greatest gifts that they ever wanted? Clearly not the toys, though, because toys for kids today really suck. Have you seen these toys? There's nothing for children in the toy section. These are all toys for man babies or whatever. The Transformers are extra small, extra complicated to transform, and extra expensive. Wrestling nobody cares about because it's nowhere near as cool as it used to be during the Attitude Era. Action figures from Marvel or DC, they're not even the same size because Todd McFarlane's in charge of the DC characters, so... But they've opened up their greatest gifts ever, probably Lego, and they're all super enthused about the next few hours they're going to spend putting it together and then asking you for help periodically. And you thought to yourself, hey, attaboy, I did good, my kids are happy, it's time to celebrate. And you go into the fridge and you realize, crudge, I did not put the beer on the counter to let it warm up. I do not personally like cold beer, but I keep it in the fridge on account of that's how you keep it fresh. But I like it being warm. Well, fret not. Bolson has the answer for you. Introducing Bolson's warm flavored beer. You put this thing in the fridge, the freezer, in the hands of your ex-girlfriend, and that will never get cold. Ever. You take a sip, and it is always lukewarm to almost a tea kind of hot. It definitely quenches your thirst when you're trying to celebrate a Christmas well done. Or when you just finished cutting the grass. You picked up all the clippings because your wife's been on your back about leaving those in the grass, even though you heard Martha Stewart herself say, that you can leave the clippings. It's good for the worms to eat and shit all over your lawn. Yes, even though Martha Stewart said that, but Martha Stewart also went to jail, was the comeback that your girlfriend thought was really clever. However, you just finished all this yard work and you're ready to celebrate and you forgot to take the beer out before you started. Well, again, Bolson has you covered. You go in that fridge, you reach for one of our warm flavored beers and you're guaranteed to have exactly the room temperature that you wanted. Or even better, you're in the middle of eating someone's crazy Mexican fiesta nachos, the double deucer, the kind of nachos that you need to put toilet paper in the freezer because you know what's going to happen later. And you thought, oh, I don't want water, definitely don't want milk, I don't want to show that I'm a giant pussy. I need something that's going to help. I need warm flavored beer. None of this cold carbonated bubbly nonsense. This shit is going to keep your mouth exactly the way you want it while you're trying to to hinder that heat. Don't settle for anything less. This is your livelihood. This is your taste buds. This is your wallet. And act now. And Bolson's got a great special going on with local grocery stores where every 2 cases you buy, the third one is half off. That's right. That's almost a whole weekend's worth of warm flavored beer. Because, we're Canadian. We don't just drink one like a bunch of pansies. And now, another sponsor. Has this ever happened to you? You're getting lucky. Things are going well. You got the girl finally back at your place. You spent all that time at the gym. You've tricked her into thinking that you have 6 figures, that you're 6 feet, and you actually have the 6-pack. You are the complete package that modern girls today are actually going to put out for. Well, it's about to happen. You're about to receive your first beej that you've never had in a long time. And she's like, oh, I don't like the taste. Can you put something on it? And you reach around and you're looking in your drawer and you got blueberry pie, cherry, apple pie, steak. And she's like, nah, I don't like any of those flavors. Never mind. And she walks out and you're like, no! How many more months of this garbage do I have to go through before some woman touches my penis with her mouth? Well, don't let this happen to you with Drulex Big Mac flavored condoms. That's right. No one's ever turned down a Big Mac. When have you ever walked by a McDonald's and thought, oh man, I don't want that in my mouth? That's right. And that's exactly what she's going to think too. And the best part is, you provide the special sauce. Drulex Big Mac flavored condoms. Alright, this is an addendum to things that have happened since I started editing this podcast. So it was brought up to my attention, I think it was Clownfish TV who said it, but it seems like the death threats for the Magic the Gathering is, it could have been maybe fake, not even real. It could be just a ploy so that Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast could have more control over who's going to decide what rules and what for Commander, a format in which they never even created. I find that kind of hilarious. I'm all for conspiracy theories. I always find them very interesting. But if that's really the case, then for shame. And I stand by what I said, though. If you're saying death threats and you're this much of a wiener, that's there's a problem somewhere. You need to get a life. There are death threats for Magic the Gathering. Like zoom out there, but your focus is a little off. But if these are fake and this is Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast's way to control something, well, guess what's going to happen? No one's going to follow your rules. People are going to play the game regardless, however they want. I just built a Commander deck with Unfinity cards because I want to play Unfinity and Commander at the same time. And I'll bring it up to wherever I play, and if they're like, yeah, sure, put it in, cool. And if they're like, nope, don't like jank, then so be it. But, like I said, if it's true in the death threats, you guys need to grow up. If it's not, vote with your wallet is the best thing I could say. Speaking of which, if you are the first, no, not first, if you hashtag in the comments Megan sucks, spelled Megan. Like if you take the good, the G, out of Megan, it's mean. And that's exactly what she was or is. So Megan sucks, hashtag that. I know it's not going to count for anything, but hashtag that in the comment section, and I will send you, I'll send one person a, what do you call it, a collector booster from whatever set they're going to give me a collector booster at Remi Card Shop. All right. Peace off.